All right, Hip Hop 101 fam, we are back in. Did you miss us? Because we definitely miss you.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
4 months to be exact.
Months.
But we're diving back in
Back in.
with a listener-requested deep dive.
That's right.
And you know what? This one is special.
It really is.
This
It's
episode
is special.
is all about unpacking.
Unpacking.
The lyrical genius and emotional depth of,
You guessed it.
you guessed it, Frank Ocean's Thinking About You.
Frank Ocean.
You guys flooded our inbox
Yeah.
with questions about this song.
So many questions.
The lyrics, the interpretations, the emotion.
The emotion.
It clearly struck a chord.
I did.
So we rolled up our sleeves,
Rolled up our sleeves.
grabbed our metaphorical magnifying glasses,
Oh, yeah.
and dug into two sources.
News source?
Fan interpretations on song meanings,
That's right.
and a detailed analysis from songcrafters.org. And our mission, to figure out what makes this song so captivating and why it seems to spark so many different interpretations.
That's the question, isn't it?
Okay, let's jump right in
You're right in.
to the heart of this musical masterpiece.
All right.
I'm going to start by reading the first verse, but I want you to pay close attention to how the lines break and the rhythm that emerges.
Yeah.
It's not your typical song structure, and that's part of what makes it so compelling.
Definitely not.
A tornado flew around my room before you came. Excuse the mess it made.
Okay.
It usually doesn't rain in Southern California. Much like Arizona, my eyes don't shed tears. But boy, they bawl when I'm thinking about ya.
Whoa.
Hear that.
Yeah.
Those unexpected line breaks the emphasis on words like usually.
Yeah.
It's almost conversational.
Very conversational.
It's brilliant, really.
Uh-huh.
It creates this feeling of intimacy.
Yeah.
Like someone confiding in you. And what's fascinating is how this conversational style actually masks the song's traditional 4/4 time signature. It's a subtle way to play with expectations
Yeah.
and create a unique rhythmic feel.
A unique rhythmic feel.
It definitely doesn't feel traditional.
It does not.
It feels raw,
Raw.
almost like a stream of consciousness.
Consciousness.
And speaking of consciousness, let's dive into those lyrics,
Diving.
because that's where things get really interesting. On song meanings,
Song.
there's a lot of debate about who the song is even about.
Up to debate.
Some fans interpret it as being about a man, while others think it's about a woman.
A woman?
What are your thoughts on that ambiguity?
Well, first of all, that ambiguity is absolutely intentional.
Intentional.
Frank Ocean is a master of creating these layered narratives that invite multiple interpretations.
Okay.
And honestly, that's part of what makes the song so powerful.
Powerful how?
It allows the listener to project their own experiences and relationships onto the lyrics without feeling excluded. It becomes a personal story regardless of your own background.
So true.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the second verse, where things get even more metaphorical.
More metaphorical.
Frank throws in lines like, "Got a beach house I could sell you in Idaho."
Idaho.
Did you think I don't love you? I just thought you were cute. That's why I kiss you. Okay, beach house in Idaho.
Yep.
That's landlocked.
Landlocked.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful example of how Frank Ocean uses metaphors to convey complex emotions.
Complex emotions.
The beach house in Idaho is a promise that can't be kept, a symbol of unrequited love.
Unrequited love.
It perfectly captures that feeling of longing for something that's unattainable.
It's like saying, I'll give you the moon, but even more impossible.
Or impossible.
And then there's that fighter jet imagery in the same verse.
Fighter jet.
I could buy you a fighter jet. Don't let anybody tell you I don't love you.
Don't let anybody tell you.
What's your take on that one?
Songcrafters had a great analysis of this. They suggest the fighter jet represents something powerful and desirable, but unattainable. It's
Yeah.
like having this incredible force, this intense love, but being unable to fully experience it because the other person isn't reciprocating.
It's that feeling of wanting to give everything but being held back right.
Precisely. And it's a recurring theme throughout the song, the tension between intense desire and the reality of the situation.
It's heartbreaking, but also incredibly relatable.
Heartbreaking relatable.
Now buckle up, because we're about to hit the bridge.
The bridge.
And this is where things get really deep.
Really deep.
Specifically, I want to talk about the line, "Till it turns from colored to black and white."
Black and white.
Song meetings had a field day with this one, with interpretations ranging from fading memories to the relationship becoming more straightforward over time.
Oh, yeah.
What's your perspective on this?
This is where it's helpful to consider Frank Ocean's broader themes,
Broader themes?
memory, nostalgia, and the passage of time. They're recurring elements in his work.
Recurring.
This line, in my opinion, isn't just about a single relationship. It's about how all experiences, no matter how vivid and intense they once were, eventually become part of the past.
Oh, so it's not just about the relationship fading, but the very memory of it becoming less vibrant.
Exactly. And that ties into the overall feeling of longing in the song. He's holding on to these memories, these feelings, even as they begin to lose their color.
Man, that hits hard. And speaking of hitting hard, let's talk about the post-chorus.
The post-chorus.
Specifically the lines, or do you not think so far ahead? Because I've been thinking about forever.
Forever.
The use of falsetto here is just
Falsetto.
chef's kiss.
The falsetto adds another layer of vulnerability.
Vulnerability.
It's like a cry from the heart, emphasizing the depth of his longing, the way certain memories can linger long after the events themselves have faded.
It's almost like he's pleading with the other person to understand the depth of his feelings.
Absolutely. And that sense of pleading is amplified by the way the music swells and receives, almost like waves on a shore. It's evocative, mirroring the emotional turmoil he's experiencing.
You know, one thing that strikes me is how, despite all this complexity, the song structure is actually quite traditional. Verse, chorus, verse, pretty standard stuff.
Standards.
It is, but that's part of Frank Ocean's genius.
It is.
He takes these familiar elements and elevates them with his unique lyrical style,
Lyrical style.
rhythmic delivery, and those emotionally charged vocals.
Emotionally charged.
It's like taking a classic recipe and adding your own special twist to make it something truly unique.
Unique recipe.
So we've talked about the lyrics, the metaphors, the structure, those amazing vocals.
Those vocals.
Are we getting closer to figuring out what makes Thinking About You so universally loved?
I think so, but here's the thing about great art. There's no single answer.
No single answer.
The beauty lies in the mystery, in the way it allows for multiple interpretations and continues to resonate with us in different ways throughout our lives.
Okay, so then what makes us keep coming back to it? What's the driving force?
Because at its core, Thinking About You speaks to a fundamental human experience. The desire for connection, the ache of unrequited love, the way memories, both good and bad, shape who we are. It's like a reminder that we're not alone in these feelings,
You got it.
even when they're painful.
And that's a powerful message no matter who you are or what you're going through.
A powerful message.
So you're saying it's not just a catchy tune, it's tapping into something deeper within us.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And Frank Ocean does it with such honesty and vulnerability that it's impossible not to be moved.
Or before we move on, I want to circle back to song meanings for a moment.
Song meanings.
We've discussed a few interpretations,
We have.
but there are so many out there.
So many.
Some are pretty wild, actually.
Pretty wild.
Oh, absolutely.
For example, some fans see the beach house in Idaho as a symbol of escape,
Escape.
a desire to create a world where this relationship can actually exist even if it's geographically impossible.
It's like he's building a fantasy world just to house this love.
Exactly. And it speaks to the intensity of his emotions,
The
the
intensity.
lengths he'd go to make it work.
And then there's the whole debate about whether the song is about a man or a woman.
The debate.
Do you think that even matters?
From an analytical perspective, not really.
Not really.
The power of the song lies in its universality.
Universality.
The emotions it evokes, longing, frustration, unrequited love, they transcend gender.
Transcend gender.
Anyone can listen to this song and find a piece of themselves in it.
That's what makes it so relatable and honestly so brilliant.
Brilliant.
It's a testament to Frank Ocean's ability to tap into the shared human experience.
shared human experience.
He's not writing for a specific audience. He's writing for anyone who's ever felt the sting of wanting something they can't have.
That's right.
Okay, I want to shift gears for a second and talk about the musicality of the song.
Musicality.
We've talked about the rhythm,
Rhythm.
falsetto,
Falsetto.
but what about the overall sound?
Overall sound.
How would you describe it?
It's a beautiful blend of genres.
Blend of genres.
You've got elements of R&B soul, even a hint of pop sensibility.
R&B soul pop.
It's a soundscape that feels familiar and innovative at the same time.
Familiar and innovative.
And those layered vocals.
And those layered vocals.
They add so much depth and texture.
Depth and texture.
The vocal layering is crucial.
Crucial how?
It creates this sense of intimacy, like he's whispering his secrets directly to you. And it also allows him to play with dynamics, building tension, and releasing it in a way that keeps you hooked.
And the way the music swells and receives.
Skills are received.
Almost like waves crashing on the shore.
Waves crashing.
It's so evocative.
Evocative.
That ebb and flow perfectly mirrors the emotional arc of the song.
The emotional arc.
It's like the music itself is breathing,
Breathing.
mirroring the speaker's longing and desperation.
Longing and desperation.
And then there's that final fade out, which just leaves you wanting more.
Leaves you wanting more.
It's the perfect ending.
Perfect ending.
It doesn't offer any resolution.
No resolution.
But it leaves you with a lingering sense of longing.
Lingering.
A feeling that the story isn't quite over yet.
Not over yet.
It's like a whisper that continues to echo long after the music has stopped. And that's the power of great art. It stays with you, makes you think, and invites you to keep exploring its depths.
Keep exploring.
All right. I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
A lot of ground.
We've talked about the lyrics, the metaphors, the structure, the musicality. What do you think? Are we getting close to unlocking the secret of what makes Thinkin' About You so captivating?
I think we're getting there. But here's the thing about great art. There's no one definitive answer. The magic lies in the mystery, in the way it invites multiple interpretations and continues to resonate with us in different ways throughout our lives.
So what does this all mean? Why do we keep coming back to this song?
Because it speaks to a fundamental human experience, the desire for connection, the pain of unrequited love, the way certain memories can stay with us long after the events themselves have faded.
It's a reminder that even in our most vulnerable moments, we're not alone.
We're not alone.
Exactly.
And that's a powerful message no matter who you are or what you're going through.
All right, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
Wrap it up.
Before we do, any final thoughts for our listeners?
I would encourage everyone to revisit the song with these new insights in mind.
New insights.
Pay attention to the details, the nuances, the way Frank Ocean uses language and music to create a truly immersive emotional experience.
And don't forget to share your own interpretations. Hit us up on Hip Hop 101's social media. We love hearing your thoughts.
We do.
Because ultimately,
Ultimately,
music is about connection.
connection.
It's about sharing experiences, even if those experiences are deeply personal.
Deeply personal.
And unique to each individual.
Unique.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Big.
So until next time, keep those ears open.
Ears open.
Those minds engaged.
Minds engaged.
And those deep dives going.
Deep dives going.
We'll catch you on the flip side.
Catch you later.
It's like Frank Ocean is handing us a key to a secret door. And what we find behind it is our own unique experience.
Exactly. And that's what makes this song, and Frank Ocean's music in general, so special. Okay, before we sign off for today, and man, it feels good to be back in the booth after 4 months.
It does.
I have one final thought for you all to ponder.
Hit us with it.
We've talked a lot about how Thinkin' About You is open to many different interpretations, how it embraces ambiguity. But here's a question. Does that very ambiguity contribute to its staying power? Does it resonate more because we each find our own personal meaning within it?
Ooh, that's good. It's like the song becomes a mirror reflecting back whatever we need to see in that moment.
Precisely. And that leads us to a broader question about art itself. Is its power amplified when it leaves room for individual interpretation?
Deep stuff. So basically we're saying go listen to Thinking About You again, but this time really listen.
Exactly. Pay attention to everything we've discussed today. The rhythm, the metaphors, those incredible vocals. Notice how they make you feel.
And then hit us up on Hip Hop 101 social media and tell us what your interpretation is. We want to hear all your theories, all your emotional responses. Let's keep this conversation going.
Because ultimately, music is about connection.
Connection.
It's about sharing experiences, even if those experiences are deeply personal and unique to each individual.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So until next time, keep those ears open, those minds engaged, and those deep dives going. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.
And don't forget to share your own interpretations.
Share.
Hit us up on Hip Hop 101 social media. We love hearing your thoughts.
They do.
Because ultimately, music is about connection.
Connection.
It's about sharing experiences.
Yeah.
Even if those experiences are deeply personal.
Deeply personal.
And unique to each individual.
Unique.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So until next time, keep those ears open.
Ears open.
Those minds engaged.
Minds engaged.
And those deep dives going.
Deep dives going.
We'll catch you on the flip side.
Catch you later.